like to call this meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. We can please start off with roll call.
Ms. Cindy Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Alba Ariano.
Here.
Mr. Jacob Sandoval.
Here.
Ms. Sarah Turner and Mr. Neil Patel are not present.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the board agenda?
I motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez.
Aye.
Ms. Ariano.
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, today on closed session, we have item 2.1, public employee appointment/employment/dismissal under Government Code Section 5495.7. We have item 2.2, potential litigation under Government Code Section 54956.8. And we have item 54956.9. And then we have item 2.3, public employee performance evaluation under Government Code Section 54957. Item 2.4, conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6. Item 2.5, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation in the Office of Administrative Hearings regarding Government Code Section 54956.9. Do we have any public comments regarding closed session items?
We do not.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn to closed session?
I motion.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez.
Aye.
Mr. Patel.
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano.
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, see everybody afterwards. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're going to reconvene back into open session for the Santa Bernardino Union District Board meeting. In closed session, the board approved the dismissal of employee number 160796. The vote was 4-0. In closed session, the board approved the probationary release of employee number 160778. The vote was 4-0. In closed session, the board denied the request for unpaid leave of absence for employee number 155570. The vote was 4-0. In closed session, the board considered a settlement agreement in the case of administrative hearing case number 202-307-0446, and the vote was 4-0. Thank you. And that's all we have to report out. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to, can you hear me on this one? Yeah, okay. We're going to move to item 5.1, approval of consent agenda for items 5.2 to 5.4. If I can please get a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, a roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, moving on to item 6.1. Do we have anybody here from SRTA?
We do.
Cool.
Good evening, can you hear me?
I don't think it's on.
No, I don't think it's,
Is it green?
Yes,
okay, there we go.
thank you. Good evening, my name is Jody Bailasta. I'm the SRTA Vice President. As we move through September, fall sports have begun. They're going on right now next door for tryouts, and musical instruments have been distributed to our students. It's been really great to see more parents on campus. La Jolla just had last week a very successful Sweet Child of Mine event. And we look forward to more events that will increase community and parent engagement this year at our school sites. Also at our school sites, members have been participating in huddles, while middle school bargaining unit members have found these, to be helpful in relaying quick, pertinent information relevant to the day. Elementary schools bargaining members have found the huddles to be less helpful and a general mismanagement of time. We hope that these huddles will grow to be more relevant and only deemed necessary when information needs to be disseminated, as a loss of time before or after school is time bargaining unit members could and would be spending planning, grading, and communicating with parents. Finally, we have had a pest problem at all of our school sites since the beginning of the school year. We have always struggled with the pests due to the proximity to the fields and the school sites, but with the new construction, it has been worse. Ants have infested the classrooms, they're in the office, the staff lounges. At the elementary sites, students have reported returning home with ants in their lunch boxes. We understand the sprays can only happen when there's a longer duration of time when we're not present on campus, and hope that we can find means to take care of the ants with. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us today and for your comments. We appreciate them. Okay, 6.2, CSEA. Is there any comments?
No comments.
Okay, moving on to item 6.3, Superintendent's Cabinet. We'll start off with Director of MOTF, Mr. Victor Sandoval.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I think most of my overview was in my Friday letter, but I think there's this one thing that's really I'm excited about, solely because I'm working with DTSC. And the last time I worked with DTSC, it was a nightmare, and it was 25 years ago. But the new team at DTSC is actually wonderful. They were very helpful and everything, and we're going to be able to, number one, facilitate the purchase of a new school site. So I'm kind of really excited about that, and I just kind of want to share that with you.
Okay, that's great to hear. They have a great team on the other side. Any questions or comments from the board?
I just want to commend MOTF. I've been here for almost a decade. I haven't seen so much work done ever, over the last year or so, from the new construction to speed bumps to the fence, to the new fences, the gates. And overall, it's a curriculum. Can't remember saying it right. It's a huge deal, and what I can say is thank you. I think anytime you work with construction, there's always issues, and there's always drama. And for us to have so much done in such a short period of time and continuing the work, I just want to say thank you to you and your entire staff. It's not easy. I was in construction for many years, so I'm glad to see, especially at the state government level, that you're having more conducive relationship rather than opposing one. So thank you for the relationships you're building up there as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving off to Director of Nutritional Services, Mr. Chuck Helm. Everybody's in person seems a little bit different.
But trust me, I'm just as nervous. Good evening, everyone. So just a couple updates. We started off very smooth in the school year, especially with our POS system, and I think we jinxed ourselves because we've had some pretty major issues the last week or so. The student ID numbers aren't working. It's not on our side, it's on Titan's side, so we're working with them closely, putting in tickets, and it's not just our district, it's Titan-wide. So staff has done a great job of handling those issues, rolling with the punches, getting the numbers in, and correcting the accounts. We'll continue to monitor, check in with Titan as it goes. And I just qualified 3 leaves with our ServSafe certificates, so that just leaves our newest lead, Isabel Baez. She's just got promoted. So as a district, we allow 6 months for them to get their certificate. So working with her closely, she's been studying, and she'll be ready within that 6 months.
That's great news. Thank you for the update. Questions or comments from the board?
Just once again, very commendable job. I usually this time of the year I get some complaints about food and this and that, but not this year. Which is a good thing. But POS, that is your central control right there. And if that gets delayed, then the entire food line, so I'm hoping we have processes in place to deal with those days where the POS is not working, so efficiently. But besides that, great job.
Okay, moving on to Director of Technology Innovation, Krishna Kirpul.
Hello. Not a huge amount to report. Like I said in the letter, we are working right now to get hotspots out to students, working with our community liaisons for our families as well to get them connected to the internet services that they have for their home. So that way, with our hotspots being traded out, they still have access to what they need. And we've been going around checking in with our site media techs, making sure that we're supporting them in getting those hotspots. And a big shout out to our IT techs. We've been down a player the last couple weeks, and they've been doing a great job spreading out the tickets and making sure that things are getting completed.
Great, good to hear. Questions or comments from the board?
Like
Ms. Patel?
today. First of all, awesome job. No issues that I know of, but just 2 concerns. One is the widespread infiltration of various hackers, if you will, into school systems. I'm very concerned about that. Happened locally here, it's happening everywhere. And so I just want to make sure we were spending enough money to protect our network. And we had the right filters and the right censoring software on there. I think that was it. There was one more. I forgot which.
No worries. It comes back to you later.
No, yeah, that was it. But thank you very much for that. Oh, there was one more thing. Regarding Google, I know we're a Google workspace now, and the approval of third-party apps, they're going through a major. I just want to make sure we minimize the hiccups, because I know at my site, we're having issues with that, with approved apps, and now they're not approved or they're not working with Google. So I just want to make sure that we don't cause any more stress for the teachers or using existing applications, that they are going to be cleared and they won't have any issues with the Google's new, I don't know what you want to call it, third-party app support or approval. I don't know what the hell's going on, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director of Special Education and Student Services, Ms. Melanie Grundy.
Perfect. Good evening, everybody. Let's see, I'm on this page. Had our all sped for PLC for the month of August, and now we're gearing up for when we get back together in September, really just focusing on that new piece, which is special education service logs, where all providers are now responsible for logging all services. So while it's great documentation, it is a lot of work. So just really coaching our teams on how and the why it's so important to get that documentation in. And also focusing on just really solid defensible goal writing, making them SMART goals, and then just ongoing progress monitoring and how that directly connects to our PLC process. Had an SST leadership meeting this afternoon, right before the board meeting. This was a continuation from last year's work, really just trying to refine our SST process. Appreciated Summer coming to it and really just collaborating and bringing in that behavioral academic piece and really connecting the two and looking just at how important the interconnected systems are. So we had really good conversations and updated some posters that we had academic coaches creating and working on around interventions over the summer. So really excited to be part of that work. My last item is, and I mentioned this in my Friday letter, but we're sending a really solid team to the California PBIS conference in early October. So I'm excited. Summer's getting to come with us as well as the restorative practice leads, as well as an administrator from each school site. And our BCBA, as well as myself, will be in attendance. So just excited to continue to grow our capacity and really bringing all of that work home and bringing it into our schools and supporting our students with the positive behavior supports. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Any questions from the board? No? Okay, thank you for the update. Moving on to Director of Engagement and School Climate, Dr. Summer Prather-Smith.
Thank you. So my first update is around our Saturday academies. So we'll be starting our Saturday intervention academies. The first one will begin on September 30th. All the flyers went out. We did really strategic recruitment for that academy. So we looked at 3 key pieces of information to recruit for this first session. So the first session, we have 1 class per grade level. We put out the request to all of our teachers and whoever was interested. And right now what we got back was 1 class per grade level. And what we decided is we need to get going, right? So our goal will be to recruit more teachers and to build it. We'll be doing 4 6-week sessions over the year. So our hope is that each session we grow the number of teachers we have. We're also recruiting our subs to come in for those Saturdays. But we're really strategic in looking at our students with chronic and severely chronic absenteeism already and who also were severely chronically absent last year. And part of the reason for that is that we're going to be able to use our Saturdays for ADA recovery as well. So we'll be able to use the time that the students are attending to recover some of those funds through ADA for students who have been absent this year. We then cross-referenced and correlated that to our iReady results for this term. So we looked at students who are chronically and severely absent who also are not meeting benchmark on iReady assessment. And then thirdly, we looked at students who are chronically or severely absent who did not score at proficient on their iReady and are in the SST groups at their school sites so that we're making sure that they're getting that intervention. If they were in track for SST but not chronically absent, we still put them in because we know that if they're moving towards that student success team, we want to give them access to all the interventions that are possible. So I'm really excited about the group of students that we have recruited and the really targeted work. I'm working with the TOSAs to design really strategic lesson plans for the teachers to implement during that time. It does twofold. One, they're really targeted, and number 2, it doesn't put that lesson planning burden on the teachers who are now working on Saturdays as well. So they'll come into everything being planned for them along with all the materials and supplies they're going to need for that activity. Currently, we sent out 247 applications for that Saturday Academy for this first session. We know that we'll probably lose about 30% of those just because of different reasons. We will be running a bus. It'll be held at McKinnon. We're trying to rotate things around and give all of our schools the privilege of hosting these types of activities. And so it'll be held at McKinnon and we'll run a bus from Santa Rita to McKinnon each day for those students who need transportation. So I'll keep you updated as we go. The idea is an hour and a half of ELA, an hour and a half of math, and 45 minutes of enrichment for our students in that time. We'll with a snack and a snack in the middle. Each of those lessons plan has been designed with a pre and a post assessment so we can really analyze the results of that 6 weeks of instruction and then determine if those students are going to move on to the second 6-week session or if they're ready to return without that, and we'll move in another group of students as well. Again, with the goal of growing the program over those 4 6-week sessions. Our teams, our administrators, as well as our counselors, social workers, and school psychologists, as well as our district admin team, were able to participate in our second round of behavioral threat assessment yesterday. We had a professional development in here, hosted through MCOE with an outside presenter. We attended the digital threat assessment the week before, and this was in the threat assessment, the student threat assessment protocol. And so now all of those teams are trained in both digital threat assessment as well as behavioral threat assessment. We had our first LCAP engagement meeting here in person. Those are those LCAP posters that you see behind you. It was really nice to work in person with parents and get them up and interacting and talking and looking at the goals. We looked at the LCAP budget, and then we focused on two goals, Goal 1 and Goal 4. And we looked at not only what's there, but like, what have you seen happening? These are the goals we set forth. Like, have you seen this? Can you say, I've seen this happening at my site? And if not, what would it look like for you to have access to that? And then any other suggestions that parents had, as we know that this next year we're going into a full LCAP revision. So it's really going to be an opportunity in 24-25 LCAP to add in some of what may be needed. So it was great to meet with them in person. We had DLAC following. Unfortunately, we did not have a quorum, and that was a little bit of my fault. Well, it was a lot my fault, because the sites hadn't all yet had their, we had our DLAC hadn't all had their ELAC meetings yet and nominated and got those representatives. And so I was a little premature in my meeting planning. My goal was that the previous members would attend for this one and we would transition into the other meeting, and it just didn't go as planned. So we had a great informational session with the parents who were there and present, and then we'll redo that DLAC meeting for parents coming up. The community liaisons are working really hard on getting in two pieces of information. Number one is the housing questionnaire. As you know, that generates our funding, a big part of our funding. And so Blanca is committed to 100%. It is her mission across the district, and she's like on it. So right now they have 4 of our sites that are at 99.9% and a couple of the sites that they're still working on. That certification for our McKinney-Vento students gets certified in October. So their goal is to get all of those forms turned in by October. They're also working on the free and reduced lunch forms, which is another important aspect of the work we do in the generation of funds. Right now, we're missing about 896 forms altogether. And so they have a list of all the students or the families that have not yet submitted those forms, and then now they're doing personalized outreach. We need to have those forms in by October 31st. I'm looking at check, October 31st. And so again, when you get Blanca and Leticia on something, it's going to happen. So they're dedicated to getting those forms in. So I'm happy about that. We did have a planned meeting today for our community resource fair planning. We had to reschedule that. Several of our parents weren't able to attend due to different issues. And then some of our teachers as well were in, who were there, had their PLC meetings this afternoon. So we were able to reschedule for the 28th. And I have a lot of stuff ready for that, including a donation letter that we'll be asking to kind of send out. We looked at what the costs are going to be across the board to really implement that, and it's around $22,000. So our goal will be to fundraise or get donations to cover most of the cost of that community fair. So I'm excited to get starting on that work with the parents as well. That's it. Thank you.
Cool. That was a lot. I know. For the LCAP, it was great. It was in person. I know it's always tough to get parents here, but how many parents did you kind of have show up?
We had 12 total parents show up, which is a small number, but we did also film and send out so that people had access to it. And so, yeah, it's hard. It's a transition to come back, but the feedback, I received 2 emails from parents who attended who were like so grateful to have the opportunity to interact, right? Which is really hard in that Zoom. The Zoom is really a good place when we're just conveying information, but getting that work where we're doing it is hard. So we challenged them to each bring another parent with them to the next meeting. And we're challenging our team as well to kind of like invite a parent to come with you and you join. So I'm sure we're going to grow. What we talked to the parents a little bit about is a mix model where maybe we do, 2 virtual and 2 in person so that parents have some options. But yeah.
Yeah, no, but it does build community when they
does.
can kind of come in person. So I'm glad that you're making that effort. Any questions or comments from the board? No? Okay. Thank you for the update. Moving on to the board and the superintendent, starting off with Ms. Cindy Lopez.
I don't have much to report. We're starting off the year, so hopefully soon, once we start our committees and all of that, then I'll have more to report. But as of now, no, just thank you to the team for being on top of everything. Appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Neil Patel.
Once again, facilities-wise, I've just been awestruck. And by the way, our entire admin team, over the last couple of weeks, actually 3-4 weeks, I've been getting a lot of phone calls from staff, from teachers, regarding the various issues that we're dealing with, and all I can say to anyone listening, to the teachers out there and staff members, is that, yes, these are tough times. What can I say? I was with my 9th grade students and I realized that they had COVID years when they were in 5th and 6th grade. That means we have another 6 years of students who have learning loss that are going to be coming through our system. And so this issue is not a short term, and the idea that this school is trying everything possible to support our community, our teachers. We have huddles, we have outreach to parent engagement, we have an excellent SPED program, we're feeding our students, we're having Saturday academies, we're upgrading our sites, we're doing everything we possibly can. But the truth is, these are going to be difficult times. At some point we have to accept that and say, you know what, I understand, and we're going to work together, and we're going to do the best we can to get through this. And it's not going to be perfect. It really isn't. I haven't seen a single school that has been dealing with this better than we have. If anyone can point me a better school in Monterey County who's dealing with the various issues and is doing a better job, I'd love to go visit that school and copy best practices. But that's what we're doing already. We are doing best practices. We're doing research-based best practices. We're looking at stuff that is proven to work, and we're trying to implement it. And yes, it's going to be issues implementing it, and it's going to be a struggle. But the point is to do nothing and to have it be much worse is unacceptable. And so as bad as we might have it, I just want to tell the entire staff that, listen, we're doing the best we can. We're doing everything we can to support each other. And we need to remember that. And so, yes, we might have our individual issues here and there, but make no mistake, this isn't a local problem. This is a national problem. And we're trying to do the best we can. And I personally believe we are doing a much better job than any other district, And so for that, I say, let's be more patient. Let's be more compromising. Let's be more understanding. And understand that this is a long-term situation. There is no quick fix. So that's what I want to say to all the people, our staff members, our community, our admin team, there is no magic solution. There is no magic bullet, it is what it is. However, we are making progress, and that's a good thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Patel. Ms. Alvarado?
Very good. I totally concur with Mr. Patel, and I don't have anything to report because I haven't gone to the committees yet, but I do want to thank all of our directors and our teachers and our kids and our parents for being very collaborative and trying very hard to make this a good year. So we're just beginning the year, so I'm sure we're going to be doing fine. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. For myself, nothing much to report. I do want to thank the district. I've been meeting with a group of parents who live in the Bolsa Knolls community. As a lot of people know, every year, especially in that Frosh area, they get flooded. So I've been having meetings with a small group of neighbors, and we're going to have a much larger meeting, hopefully in the next coming months. Just trying to get them organized, and that way they can kind of advocate for themselves. I want to thank Mr. Supervisor Church. He's been meeting with us as well, and his staff has been really receptive. So it's really good to help that as well. So that's all I have to report. Dr. Alderman?
We've had a lot going on. Amy Lopez and I put our old hats back on, and we've been getting some extra curriculum items out to school sites, which we did once upon a time, so we're pretty good at it. And so people laugh when they walk by because I'm in my old office counting workbooks and labeling where they're going to go. I'm like, I got this part. So being able to be part of the behavioral threat assessment training was great. We had some of our partners attend with us that we were able to open that up, which I appreciate when Dr. Prather makes those connections for us. I think it just sort of strengthens our position as well. I attended the Monterey County the city school district critical response and emergency response meeting today. It's a place for sort of our emergency services, the city leadership, as well as school district leadership to kind of convene, talk about some issues. They let us know the Amor Salinas is reaching out to school districts. We've already talked to them about coming and doing some presentations for us and getting their mascot out and working with our kiddos, welcoming them into our schools, being part of our resource fairs, things like that, sharing our information about what we'll do for the Great Shakeout with them so they can also share that with their community. They kind of asked, what do you guys normally do? We talked about, safety plans and things like that, where districts are with that. And so it was also a great chance for us to sort of give them some information about where we're all at usually at this time of the year, and make those connections, right? And so that was a great meeting that we had this morning. And we should actually have a draft of our strategic action plan graphic. We've got a graphic designer who's been working on that by mid-October at the latest. And so he has a full-time job. This is his side hustle. And so he took our feedback, what our categories were, looking at our color scheme, what kind of fonts we like to use and those things. And so he'll have a mock-up of it for us. And so wanted to give you an update on that. Remind everyone that our next board meeting is going to be held at McKinnon Elementary School in the multi-purpose room. And our IT team has been doing an amazing job getting ready for that. And so we'll work out any glitches as they occur.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? No, thank you for the update. Okay, moving on to 7.1, public comment regarding non-agenda items.
Or non-agenda, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have 4. Dear Santa Rita Union School District Board members, my name is Sheila McNeese, and I'm writing to you regarding a new daily routine at our school sites that I feel is impeding upon my ability to do my job to the best of my ability. I would like to preface my comments by saying that this is my 24th year of teaching in the Santa Rita Union School District at Santa Rita Elementary School site. I absolutely love teaching. I love my students. I love my job. I love my colleagues, and I love this district. I feel we are a big family, and I feel that we have a supportive group of educators at our district office who have the best intentions in mind for our students and staff. This year, we have started to have staff meetings 3 days a week after school for 10 to 15 minutes. These required daily staff gatherings are referred to as huddles. We meet on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. At these meetings, we are provided with what I feel are daily announcements, such as students are bringing candy out at recess, so a reminder that candy is not allowed. We have had students playing in the bathrooms. We are posting the new PLC Plus schedules on Google Classroom. The SDC preschool will be moved to another school site. And other such reminders and announcements that could easily be handled in an email, added to the Jamboard, discussed at bi-monthly Tuesday staff meetings, or put into our school site Google Classroom. Sometimes we are also encouraged to turn to someone standing next to us and say something positive that happened that day, etc. I believe that the suggestion of having daily huddles was suggested with positive intentions in an effort to support our district's commitment to restorative practices. I wholeheartedly believe in restorative practices and restorative justice, but even if we were to hold daily team building meetings / huddles, I feel that this would still interfere with my ability to perform my job in the way that is beneficial to my students. At my school site, we dismiss our students at 2:10. We are required to be at our huddles at 2:30. I have first graders, so I wait with the students until they have been picked up by their adults or siblings, so dismissal can take until 2:15 or even 2:20. Some days I have a parking lot duty until 2:30. The huddles often end at 2:40 and our contracted day ends at 2:45. On days that I do not have afternoon yard duty, the 15 minutes between 2:15 and 2:30 is not enough time to start and finish prepping my neck for the next day. Like most teachers, I do work at home nightly and on the weekends, and of course during my 30 minutes of before school prep time, but I need as much time in my classroom after school each day as possible. The following are just some of the ways I feel these daily huddles or staff meetings are having a negative impact on my job. After school, I'm not able to call home to discuss concerns or give positive feedback to parents, caregivers about my students, especially if I need an interpreter. Even if the parent speaks English, I never know how long that call may last, and I need every minute after school to prepare for the next day and then rush to my huddle. I am unable to clean up daily messes that the elementary teachers acquires each day. Elementary teachers are given many gifts of flowers, leaves, pictures, stickers, etc. from our students on a daily basis, all of which get piled on our desks. I am unable to look at the next day's Eureka math lesson. It is a new program and I am still trying to figure it out. It also requires a variety of manipulatives that I need to be organized in different ways each day. There's no time to document behavior in Aries. I am unable to leave my room organized and ready for a sub in the case that I have an emergency or become ill. I am unable to have a quick conversation with fellow teachers or a school counselor, school nurse, or an administrator about my students that I may have a concern about. I have had to work through my uninterrupted lunch on a daily basis to make up for lost time each day. I also work through my recess. I do not have time in my day to try to counsel my students in the way that Cognito training suggests. I really like that training, but I feel so rushed at recess, lunch, and after school, it is hard to execute this type of counseling and connection with my students. Some days are emotionally exhausting as a teacher. Many of our students experience trauma in many forms, and it is a lot to bear each day. Some days I need to just be alone in my classroom getting things together for the next day while I process my emotions for that day. Some days this can involve the need to cry, but I do not have time for that. It is a heavy burden we carry, and I do not want to be forced to be in a large group and interact every single day. The Santa Rita school site has been a great place to work for many years. This year, morale is down, and you can feel it. I still love my job, and I still love my school, the staff, the kids, but each day ends with the staff feeling so annoyed. I have worked at this district for many years, and I know people at every school site. I am also a part of our union. I can assure you that the vast majority of staff members at every site, including middle school sites, are not enjoying these huddles. Ask around yourselves. As a teacher, I ask myself, why am I assigning this homework, or what is my objective for this lesson, etc. And if the answer is not because it increases staff achievement in the classroom, then I have to rethink what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. The same should be the case for these huddles. The intentions may have been good, but the outcome has not had a positive effect on our staff members or our students. I suggest trying to incorporate huddles into our 2 monthly staff meetings, make them team building in nature, ask the staff what they like to see as an outcome of the huddles. As of now, these huddles feel the opposite of restorative. Thank you for taking the time to read my concern. With much respect, Sheila McNeese, teacher, 1st grade.
Okay, thank you for the comments and feedback.
Janine Valenzuela. Good evening. I'd like to thank you and give you the public an opportunity to express themselves in regards to our local schools. I am a teacher in this district and have been here since I was a student teacher and learning what it takes to be an effective teacher. I choose to stay in this district because I saw the teachers around me, kind, professional, and compassionate individuals who devote themselves to their students and their craft. For the first time in my career, I see those same teachers feeling stressed, underappreciated because they do not have adequate time to prepare the fun, effective, and engaging lessons their students deserve. We serve students with a diverse set of needs, and these students deserve teachers who have adequate time to give them the best education possible. I ask all of you to please consider whether or not these mini meetings that I know were implemented with a positive intent are truly beneficial to our students' needs, or are they having the opposite effect? Thank you for support and consideration. With much respect, Janine Valenzuela, teacher, 4th grade. Dear Santa Rita Union School District Board members, my name is Gina Delaney, and I have been a teacher for 20 years, 5 of them teaching transitional kinder in the Santa Rita Elementary School District. I would like to say that this is a wonderful school with amazing, supportive, dedicated, and professional staff. It is a joy for me to build a love of learning and to see my students succeed. I truly love my job, but I feel that the implementation of afternoon huddles has had a negative effect on our staff and has interfered with my ability to be prepared and to effectively do my job by taking away my my already limited time. As teachers, we inherently spend many hours of our own time preparing to give our students the best learning experience possible. It feels as if my time as a professional is not being respected and that I am covertly expected to spend even more time of my own to prepare for my students. Just as I am passionate for my students, I am also passionate about my own family who deserve my time as well. Everyone must find a work-life balance. However, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find that balance. Our required huddles are held Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays and are filled with daily announcement and reminders, all of which, in my opinion, could be dispersed in an email, posted on our Google Classroom, or addressed at our staff meeting. I do believe that the intent of these huddles is supposed to be positive and uplifting. However, they have become tedious, stressful, and cumbersome. I feel that the huddles are not an effective use of my time, do not benefit my students, and leave me concerned not only for my well-being, but for the well-being of my colleagues. At Santa Rita, we dismiss our students at 2:10, and we are required to be at our huddles at 2:30. I have transitional kinder students, 4 and 5-year-olds, so I wait with the students until they have been picked up by their adult or sibling, or our dismissal can take until 2:15 or even 2:20, or later if the parents need to speak with me. Some days I have parking lot duty until 2:30, and other days I have recess duty that takes away that 15 minutes. The huddles often end at 2:40, and our contracted day ends at 2:45. On days that I do not have afternoon duty, the 15 minutes between 2:15 and 2:30 is not enough time to start and finish prepping for the next day. Like most teachers, I do work at home nightly and weekends, and of course during the 30 minutes before school prep, but I need as much time in my classroom after school each day as possible. These afternoon huddles are having a negative impact on my job, as I do not have time within my contracted day to make phone calls, fill out counseling forms, document an ARIES, prep for the next day's activity, become familiar with how to implement several new programs and ideas that have been put into place this year. Haggerty, the Kimball Safety Program, PLC Plus, Restorative Justice, Eureka Math, Second Step SEL. Prep for Eureka Math, which requires a variety of manipulatives each day. Clean up and process my day. Transitional Kinder is very busy, active class. Days are not only physical, but they can be emotionally exhausting. Many of our students experience trauma in many forms, and it can be a lot to bear. Because teachers care about students, some days I need to just be alone in my classroom getting things together for the next day while I process my emotions for that day. Some days this can involve the need to cry, but I do not have time for that. It is a heavy burden we carry, and I do not want to be forced to be in a large group and interact every single day. Thank you for the opportunity to voice my concerns. With respect, Gina Delaney, Santa Rita Transitional Kinder. Good evening. I would like to voice my concern over the implementation of staff huddles. I believe it is impacting my ability to teach effectively in the classroom. I have students with a wide variety of learning needs, students which need accommodations and differentiated instruction. In order to meet the needs of my students, I need time to prepare for instruction. Staff huddles have not only removed that essential time, but also do not reach the objective of which the huddle is even supposed to entail. Thank you for your time and consideration, Vanessa Show. That's all.
Okay, thank you, teachers, for your comments. We'll definitely take those into consideration. Any public comments on agenda items?
No.
Okay, moving on to item 8.1, approval of purchase equipment for school site cafeterias.
Yeah, so this is equipment that we've identified as needing to be replaced. Instead of putting more money into them for repair, we have equipment grant funds that we're awarded, and that's what's being used to purchase.
Okay, any questions or comments? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
To approve?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 8.2, approval of disposal of surplus obsolete materials and equipment.
And this is the item with the list of equipment that will be replaced and surplused.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, 8.3, approval of change order number 2 for John Gutierrez Locker Room Playgrounds grading project.
Yes, that is my item. And I just want to clarify, this is not the way to do this. However, because the contractor was nice enough to offer a change at his own cost to slurry and seal the entire play area of JGMS, it also presented a very good opportunity for us to add items and events like foursquares, numbers, lineup, and, volleyball, foul lines. And so working with the staff at JGMS and the principal, we asked for a change order. However, because time was of the essence, I kind of fudged the timeline and had it done. So I might be in trouble if you don't approve this tonight.
That'll come out of your pocket.
And I have to apologize, but it was just such a great opportunity. And if you have a chance, please go out to JGMS and take a look at the blacktop. It looks uniform. Great job. The contractor did a great job also. And with the striping, it's completely a different blacktop. The opportunity will also come about with Santa Rita, where we're going to be paid back, and I'm asking for a change order, but I just want to, ask for leniency on that because it's not a really big change order. As you can see that this change order is only not even a 1% to the allowable 10% that we even have for this project. But I think it was just a great opportunity for us to be able to do that, and staff is just ecstatic about everything that's going on out there.
No, great discretion. I think that's exciting that this was done, so I'm glad you jumped the gun.
I have to say sorry again, though.
Yeah. Can I get the motion to approve?
I will motion, but I just wanted to say, can you, if possible, take pictures? We could post it like on our site. I know sometimes I'm not able to get out there, but the parents, that way we could see what's been done and all of that. That would be awesome if we could share that with our community as well.
So the opportunity, because for me to take a picture of just a flat,
Yeah.
well,
I know,
it's
it won't
flat,
be
by the way, solely because it used to be parabolic. Now it's flat. It's hard to take a picture like that, but I've also taken the opportunity to ask one of my fellow workers to bring his drone. So that
nice.
in order to really take a picture of it,
That'll be
it would be
awesome.
from above, right? So
Anthony's
I'll-
got some drone shots too that I believe one of his staff members took a couple, and so we'll make sure that we get that shared on our district page as
So
well.
for roofing jobs and stuff like that in the future, we'll be able to borrow his drone and give you like a bird's eye view instead of having you try to, climb the roof, get up there. So yeah, I apologize.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
I could.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. Okay, 10.1 is approval of MOU between Los Angeles Pacific University and Santa Rita Union School District for teacher education field experience and internships for 10/1/23 through 9/30/28.
Yes, this is a renewal of an MOU that we have had in the past, and so it's multi-year to allow for some student teachers to work in our district to attend that university.
Some motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 10.2, approval of MOU for Riverside CTI induction 2023 to 2026.
Yes, this is also a renewal for an MOU that we've had with Riverside CTI's program to help with our induction program that we support our teachers by paying for their induction. It's one of the things that help us make sure that we're supporting our newest teachers by financially helping them meet the requirements to get their clear credential, as well as getting them access to a master teacher to help them through their induction program in the district. And Riverside has done a great job in the past, and we'd like to continue that partnership.
Okay,
Motion.
okay, can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 11.1, approval appointment of Ariel Torres as the parent representative for Community Advisory Committee for the 2023-2024 school year.
Perfect. So that's my item. I'm passing down the Committee Advisory Council pamphlet that's also attached in this board item. it's just what it sounds like. So it's parent committee, it's representing parents with students with disabilities, and really working with our SELPA to connect the community and guide decision-making ultimately. So Ariel Torres, I reached out to her. She has several students within our Santa Rita School District and has volunteered to serve in this position for the school year. So she was unfortunately not able to make it tonight, but yeah, would love to take on this position for us.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Ariel Torres, for volunteering your time. Can I please get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, can I get roll call, please?
Ms. Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, congratulations, Ms. Torres. 15.1, our next regular board meeting will be September 27, 2023. It will be at McKinnon School for our first mobile board meeting. Any suggested future board items? No, okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn at 6:51?
I motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Aye.
Mr. Patel?
Aye, Captain.
Ms. Ariano?
Aye.
Mr. Sandoval?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, have a nice evening, everyone.